Christmas of 2022, final happy hour of the Banter Bar for this year. Let's get into it. So apparently everyone and their dog has head colds right now, so I'm by myself. And this is what I would be doing normally. Not sitting in front of a camera talking to nobody, but sitting around with Sam Adams. This always makes me feel Christmassy. I think everything on the table, except for the porch rocker, comes in their holiday pack. Which, let's talk about the fact that Sam Adams holiday packs are great, except for the fact that they put their normal Boston Lager in there. Please stop doing that. It's a waste of space. We know and love your Boston Lager. We'll buy a 6-pack of that on the side if we want it. Give us more holiday beers or more themed beers. Anyway, rant at an end. First up is the Winter Lager, again from Sam Adams. This thing is 5.6% with 22 IBUs, so it should not be bitter. Beautiful caramel color. Question is, what's your most toxic trait? And since I'm by myself, feel free to answer in the comments, so make me feel less alone. Smells really good. Again, if you like caramel, I'm trying to think of what in food has like a copper note to it or a metallic note to it. I would think certain meats, just because of the blood factor. I'm making this sound really unappealing and unappetizing, but it shouldn't be. We'll see. I don't smell everything it claims to have in here. It smells kind of malty, but it says it's got cinnamon, ginger, orange peel. No. It smells like a Boston Lager, a little more caramelized, more like a Bock. The taste isn't great. Yeah, the grains feel a little too roasted, verging on burnt, and pretty heavily carbonated, so as it's going down, kind of rough. I don't know. Maybe it's just how beer starts at the beginning of the night. Not usually in my experience, but yeah, the carbonated factor on this one is drawing it down. The mouth feels pretty good, but it's not, there's no character up front that's punching. It's all punching on the back end, and it's overly roasted grains and then kind of harsh. So it's not horrible. It's not. I would say it's a 5. I wouldn't go down to a 4 because it does, even though it's nearing burnt, it's not quite there yet. And because of the coppery aspect of this, you're getting more in the realm of like a barbecue, less caramel. Those sound really strange together. It smells great together. It doesn't taste great together. So, for what it's worth. Making messes already. I'm way too chilled tonight. Need to pretend like I have some sort of personality, right? Yeah, I could see some people calling that a 4. For me, it's a 5. Not horrible. Not something I would want to drink a bunch of. I think if you were drinking directly out of the bottle, if it had been open for a while, it's kind of gotten a chance to go flat, it'd be pretty good. Again, not horrible for the time of the year, but not for me. My most toxic trait, on the fly, haven't had too much opportunity to think about this. What comes to mind is I have a tendency to pretend things, like I'll say I'm thinking something or feeling something, and it's just for laughs. It's not actually how I'm feeling. It's usually the reverse. I fuck with people. that is to say, for, 15 to 30 seconds. And I tend to be pretty believable when I'm doing it. I think that rubs people wrong at times. And that's what I'm coming up with. I can be self-involved, sure, can't we all? But usually, I spend way too much time thinking about other people. It's just when I'm fucking with them for the sake of a laugh that I don't. And that tends to come across as fairly toxic. Next up is the Holiday White Ale. This one's 5.8% and only 8 on the IBU scale. This should be anything but bitter. It looks pretty unfiltered, which I love. It's talking about orange peel and holiday spices. We'll see. Pretty dark for a white ale. But I like the unfiltered quality. Smells pretty good. I definitely pick up orange here. For what it's worth. Question is, what's your favorite kids cartoon? I'm going to butcher this question, I can already tell. My brain does not want to think about kids cartoons, so immediate thoughts like Teddy Ruxpin, and that's not a quality watch. It's just very, it's one of the first things I remember seeing as a kid, so I'll try to think about it a little bit. Okay, see, this is better. The nose is actually meeting the beer. Like, the taste and the scent are going together pretty well. There are certainly holiday spices there. It feels holiday-esque. I would say which spices, but you probably already know. So let's pretend it's allspice or clove and not one of the other spices that starts with a C. But the mouthfeel is great. I was worried this would have too much ale quality. It looks quite dark for a white, but pretty damn pleasant. It's not the most memorable thing I've ever had to drink, and definitely not my favorite beer I've ever had. I would still go with a 7, though. I think it's great. I could drink a 6-pack of it. So, again, wouldn't be my first choice, but I can do it. And this time of the year, perfect for this sort of beer. I want to try to strike a happy medium with this question because I feel like I stopped watching most kids' cartoons when I stopped being a kid. And what I remember watching in the end that I really loved was X-Men and Gargoyles. And those mostly hold up now. But the thing that I couldn't get my hands on forever, and it's one of the only reasons I'm happy about Disney Plus, is that I can now watch The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. That used to be why I got up on Saturday morning. Like, I would get up early, before everybody, because that cartoon came on at a specific time, and I wanted to be up in time to hear the intro song and all of it. It put me in a very calming state. And if you've known me as an adult, when I have a really bad day, I will turn on something Winnie the Pooh related and just zone out. It helped. I don't know. So I would have to say, in all honesty, The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Next up is Old Fezziwig. This, I'm to understand, is a massive fan favorite. I kind of understand. I feel like most of it's just about the name, though. Past years, I don't remember having been super impressed by this one. But it's 5.9% and 25 on the IBU scale. It's supposed to have a deep malt character with notes of sweet toffee and rich dark caramel. Now that sounds perfect. Let's see how it actually tastes, though. Part of the problem may be that most years, something like this is being drunk alongside Shiner's Holiday Cheer, which does strike a very nice balance for the season. this may just be full on Christmas. Now, it doesn't look too dark. It's red near brown. Not a lot coming off of the nose. I actually thought I smelled chocolate. Dark caramel and toffee is what I'm supposed to be saying here. Malt and chocolate are what are coming through. Question is, which celebrity has the best nudes? So as much as I like really dark beers, which this isn't, ones that are semi-dark like this that have a lot of flavor packed into it tend to have what comes across to my palate as a raisin note. And that's what I'm getting somewhat here. I love toffee, dark caramel, malt. That's all in my wheelhouse. So this should, maybe what it is this beer just bills itself extremely high, and I don't find the result as impressive as the billing. It's a good beer. And that having been said, I kind of gave the game away. That's a 6 for me. It's something I think having once a year, or a few times in December, great. It's warming. It's nice. It's what you want a holiday beer to be, except for the raisin quality. Like, I want more of the promised flavor, less of just dense beer note that comes across in this. Yeah, raisin. Thick ass raisin. Almost prunish. Celebrity nudes is difficult. I would struggle to sit here and think forever about, who I've seen naked that I liked most or whatnot. The plain fact is, I'm one of those people who will go look for nudes. I don't know why that is. I guess because I don't actually know those people. So it's like, oh, can you see this person naked? Let's go see them naked. So I'm in that camp. I think most men are in that camp, regardless of what they may tell you. A lot of women too, not to sound sexist here. It's not my intention. I think a lot of women are beautiful. So I think recently what I had some experience with was realizing that we used to make fun of, we were drunk one night, my crowd and I were, and talking about Demi Moore having this gargantuan bush. And I don't remember where that came from, why it came up, but it did. And I remember it was indeed a massive, dark, thick bush. And I didn't really pay much attention beyond that. It was interesting for me recently to go back and see that she was actually extremely gorgeous. And being older now, having more appreciation for pubic hair, because I think the notion of being bald is just way overdone in our society these days. That's something that's cool every now and then. But like, there are plenty of celebrities, porn stars, models. Everything they do, it's always bald. And I don't get it. How do you live like that? It's not attractive. I wouldn't want that all the time, but that's probably why I'm not sleeping with Demi Moore. So, whatever. She's pretty. So this one's not wintry, but I had it, and it's here because I didn't want to use the Boston Lager again. So this is a summer beer. It's their Porch Rocker. It's a lemon radler, which actually I'm going to mess it up because I'm thinking shandy, which I'm pretty sure is beer and lemonade. Radler, I'm not entirely sure. I want to say it's grapefruit juice that they put in a beer. It appears they've added lemon to this as well. It's 4.5% and has an 8 on the bitterness unit scale. Okay, so to clarify, the beer was inspired by German cyclists who mixed beer with lemon lime flavors after a tough ride. In Porch Rocker, they brewed a golden Helles combined with a smooth, effervescent lemon lime taste that'll kick the heat out of any summer day. Well, I'm pretty sure it's very close to freezing outside right now, so no worries there. Whew. It smells like Fruity Pebbles. Excuse me. It smells like Trix. The question is, would you try saving an elderly person from shark-infested waters? Just to harsh your holiday mellow. It really does. It smells like Trix cereal and like a Sprite. Very strange. It has a beer mouthfeel. Not really any beer flavor there. Actually, it's coming now. Maybe lemon is just so powerful. I like lemon a lot. This isn't for me. I think it's a really well-made beer. Perfect for people who are looking for... Like, if you love Trix cereal, I think you'll really appreciate this. And that's no bullshit. It's not like, oh, this, smells like Fruity Pebbles. You should taste it. No, it tastes like Trix when you're drinking it, but it's got a Sprite vibe with like a beer weight to it, and the carbonation and all of that. But fuck, I don't even know. It's pretty unique. It's not a shandy. You can tell that straight away. And I'm pretty sure every Radler I've ever had was grapefruit, so it's fairly memorable in the smell and the taste. And it's not something I would pass on. It's not bad by any stretch. I don't want cereal in my beer typically, cereal flavors in my beer. So, and this is I cannot get Trix out of my head now. That's it. So for me, I'm going to go with a 5. Could not say that was forgettable. I do not think it's unpleasant. It's up there. I think some people would go higher if, again, you want that cereal fruity flavor in a beer, or even something that just doesn't feel like you're drinking beer. I could definitely see why beer would be too heavy after a cycling competition. So I'm struggling with the question because I feel like a lot of your personal bias shows when your own life is on the line, right? You may want what's best for the world. You may want everybody to be saved. Like if you have a mindset of society as functioning for everyone the same, like I want someone to try to save my kids from shark-infested waters, and I think that elderly people have just as much right to that. If you're talking about me personally, I would typically say I'm not trying to save anyone from shark-infested waters, but I've already mentioned the kids, and I think I would try to save the kids. There are quite a few people I would try to save from shark-infested waters. I feel like it depends on the elderly person, what they're doing in the water. And it's probably got something to do with time, right? They've had a lot more time, so you're putting your own life at risk, and you end up with less time to attempt to save their life. It's a messed up question. And I'm pretty sure that's why I put it in the journal. So, but typically, all these words are just my way of saying probably not. And that makes me feel like a bad person. Very close to Christmas, but at least I'm being an honest person. So maybe that's a debate for another time as to why psychologically that would be my response. As much as I'm trying to work myself into knots to think I would save someone, I don't think that I would. So it'd have to be somebody extremely close to me. Not to say that an elderly person couldn't be close to me, but you know what I'm getting at. too much talking because there's an IPA right here in the lineup. And it's called Cold IPA, so I would prefer to drink it while it's still cold. So Samuel Adams Cold IPA. It's supposed to be crisp and hoppy. It's 6% ABV with a 40 on the bitterness scale. That sounds high, but you have to remember, this is an IPA. They're going to be pretty bitter to begin with. Question is, what, if anything, do you do differently on Friday the 13th? Apparently they ferment this at colder temperatures. That's why they call it Cold IPA. Because it doesn't really make sense, for me at least, because I don't like drinking warm IPA, so every IPA would be Cold IPA. This smells fantastic. The hop note has a little bit of everything that you'd expect from all different cones of Citra. So you've got your orange, you have your grapefruit, you've got some of that pine needle stuff that happens, and even the pineapple is there. It smells really, really good. I can already tell, though, you'd want to drink this cold. If you try drinking it warm, you're going to have a bad time. Let's see if cold or semi-cold, it's a good time. It's definitely an IPA. It doesn't pack as much punch, though. It's smooth. It's easy to drink. You would think that would be the case with most IPAs, since what you're tasting is the oil, but here, it really does go down smooth. You taste the hop afterward, but it's not that cloying burn almost. You know, sometimes you can get like a liquor vibe once you've taken a swallow of an IPA. That's not happening here. This is balanced. It's quite well done. Not the most complex, but I would still go with a 7 on that. I think that's pretty fucking great. So if you were to go out and get the 6-pack just to try this exclusive cold IPA, which I'm sure by the time this comes out, you won't even have the opportunity to do anymore. But if it comes back around and you see it, I would definitely pick up the case just to try this thing. Or the 12-pack. I guess it's not a case. I guess they sell them in a 12-pack. IPA did not sound good tonight, but that is delicious. And cold IPA is kind of a perfect name for it. It just feels cool, you know? Like it goes down smooth. So the problem for me in Friday the 13th is the same sort of problem that I have with regard to astrology. A lot of it seems to be from every test that I've seen done or experiment and that I've read. All of that stuff seems to show that the power of suggestion is what's driving most of that. I think the only indicator we've even had so far for anything superstitious in that realm is behavior changing on a full moon. It seems to create more, even that, like it's more traffic accidents, more like domestic violence calls, that sort of thing. But even that could just be you are anticipating something being different about this day because the moon is really full. So that's when people are supposed to act crazy, right? So it may lower your inhibition. The same for Friday the 13th. I mean, depending on your personality. Take me as an example. That's what you're supposed to be doing here. What I do differently on Friday the 13th, I would love to say nothing, but I tend to stay my ass at home. Just because that's when I expect people will be acting fools. And I don't really want to be a part of that. So I tend to laugh it off, but human behavior is more complex than just saying, this is superstitious. I believe it's superstitious, but the people who don't believe it's superstitious may be using it in their head as an excuse to act out, And then lastly, we come to it, the black lager. The real reason I wanted to sit down with this 6-pack, pretty much every year for the last It's coming up on 15 years now. I have had a black lager around the holidays. Historically been one of my favorite things. We'll see if it holds up. I think the last time I actually rated this would have been way back in like 2008. It's been a long time. This one's 4.9% and 19 on the bitterness scale. It is dark and roasted. Actually not as dark as I was thinking it would be. The bottles, well, most Sam Adams bottles are dark. This one's a little darker. It's supposed to be medium body, deep roasted character, smooth, clean finish, specially roasted malts with notes of chocolate and coffee. Yeah. Yada, yada. Smells great. I think a less dark bread Guinness, something that's sweeter. I don't even know what to compare this to. This actually smells like a beer. Or, I'll say Levi Garrett, like tea leaves, like wet soaked tea leaves. That's the vibe this gives off, which is indicative of great grains that they're using for the beer. Question is, did they over toast it? No, they did not. And they call it a black lager. Again, it's not black. It may look that way in certain lights, but it's more brown. And it tastes that way. It tastes like a brown. It's got some holiday character to it. That's a beautiful beer. Definitely not the most standout beer I've ever had. You can tell it's Sam Adams. That's another thing I really like about a lot of these, actually. The holiday white, the cold IPA, and then this black, they really do show that Boston lager quality. So if you just want something that's a little bit heavier, a little more in the holiday fashion, then this black lager is definitely the one I would recommend. I'm going to give it an 8. And I've completely skipped my question. So the last one was, if you were going to change your name, what would your new name be? All right, well, thank God, or whatever you do or don't believe in, for this question, because I don't need any time to think about it. We talked about this recently at a holiday party that came up when we were playing around a table with a question game. I don't know if I would actually change my name, but one of the things that I want to use, I'm out of pen names. So as an author, I get 3 pen names with Amazon's publishing company. And the one that I didn't use, which I probably should have for things like poetry books or some of my other side projects, the non-journaling things, I probably should have used the moniker I came up with a long time ago, which is Virgo Wordsworth. It just sounds, artsy. And I liked it for a long time. I just never used it. So that's what I would go with. Anyway, thank you for spending a little time with me right around the holidays. It does mean a lot this time of the year. Be sure to like the video, share it with someone you love, make sure you're subscribed, all of that stuff. If you're looking for a last minute gift, maybe that person to say, go look me up on Amazon. I've got tons of books. And if you like the show, get the Banner Bar Journal. It's the perfect gift to give yourself, because you can do this. Try 6 beers, answer 6 questions right there on the page, or even just have it around a table full of friends. So it's been a long week. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for another round at the Banter Bar.
I'll just leave you a little sip in case you want to go back.
I appreciate the sip. I think I could drink quite a bit of this.
I just want to see how it feels in my mouth.
I guess we'll see you next time
On the Banter Bar.
I'm Shane Wyndham, by the way, in case you didn't know my name, and you need to Google that or search it somewhere. Whatever. Have a happy new year. Farewell, beer snobs.